Hello and a warm welcome to HW News Network, your one-stop show, truth be told, for some engaging and thought-provoking conversations. The stage is set for the vice president election in which the ruling BJP-led NDA's CP Radhakrishnan will face the India Bloc's B. Sudershan Reddy. Now, the government's efforts to take the opposition on board for a unanimous VP election have failed, with the India Bloc today fielding former and retired Chief Justice of Guwahati High Court, Justice Sudershan Reddy, and he's described as one of India's most distinguished and progressive jurists. Now, Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge today held a press conference where he announced that former Supreme Court Judge Sudershan Reddy as the opposition vice president candidate and informed that he will file his nomination on August 24th for the September 9 elections. Now, I'm going to talk a little about how the numbers are stacked up, because that's very interesting. And then we will talk about that how honestly will these vice president elections be conducted. Now, if you look at the numbers, members of parliament from both houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, comprise the electoral college for the vice president elections. Unlike the presidential elections, where MLAs have no role in the vice president polls. At present, the strength of parliament stands at 787, including both houses, and a candidate requires at least 394 votes to be elected as the next vice president of India. The current situation favors Radhakrishnan, as the BJP-led NDA has 422 MPs, including nominated members, who are likely to support the NDA nominee. The NDA's tally includes 293 MPs in the 542-member Lok Sabha and 129 members in the Rajya Sabha, where the effective strength of the House currently is 245. Now, for the opposition, the poll remains a symbolic contest. That's what everyone is saying, as in the vice president elections of 2017 and 2022, since they lacked the numbers. Now, TMC MP Derek O'Brien said that all opposition parties, including the Aam Aadmi Party, are on board for Reddy's candidature. Now, I've explained how the numbers are stacked, but the million-dollar question. You remember how the Chandigarh mayor elections were rigged. Do vice president elections hold the same dangers? Because this vice president election is coming at a time when the entire opposition, the entire India Bloc, is raising questions on vote theft, that how elections after elections are being rigged, they are stolen. So can the vice president elections also be stolen? And if the opposition is already raising this issue, then how can the opposition take precautions? And what can it demand from the Election Commission so that vice president elections can be sanitized and not stolen? Joining me this evening is Supreme Court lawyer and activist Mehmood Pracha. Thank you so much, Mehmood, for joining this evening. And the very fact, your first thoughts on Sudershan Reddy's candidature from announced today. What are the chances? Does he stand a chance for victory?
Ostensibly, visibly, no. But is winning the vice president election by Mr. Reddy impossible? Answer to that is also no. However, the numbers you've told me clearly indicate that if the writ of absent the three-line whip, because three-line whip is not available in vice presidential election, and ostensibly people have to vote on their conscience using their own free will. So there is no pressure of a three-line whip, which normally the member of parliaments are bound by their own political parties. So therefore, any member, even if he votes against the informal directives of his or her party, will not lose his or her membership automatically. That's the hope. Second reason for hope is that large number of member of parliament of BJP and NDA are not happy with the functioning, the way Modi ji and Amit Shah Sahab have been functioning, including neglecting their own colleagues in the parliament. So that is the glimmer of hope, because left to themselves, I think almost all NDA partners will not vote for or under the dictates of Modi Saab and Amit Shah Saab.
No, but what makes you say so? What makes you say so that Chandrababu Naidu or Nitish Kumar or LJP's Chirag Paswan might not vote for the NDA candidate? Are you indicating that?
Yes, see, nobody is happy with the functioning of, and I will again and again quote large number of member of parliament who informally, and the recent election held in the Constitutional Club of India. You've seen the result. Who won? So that can also be an indicator, because the indication of people not voting for, left with a choice, people not voting for candidates supported by Modi ji and Amit Shah ji. In Constitutional Club, they were supporting Mr. Malik and Mr. Rudy won. So that is a big indicator that people are not happy with the Modi Saab and Amit Shah Saab. So that is a glimmer of hope. Now, with this glimmer of hope, if people want to vote according to their conscience, they may not vote for the candidate which has been selected by Modi ji and Amit Shah Saab. That's the point number one. Now, having said that, I would also like to say now practicality. What is the practical situation? Everybody is scared of Amit Shah Saab and Modi ji. So, and Amit Shah Saab spreads a aura, or his aura is such that he gets to know whatever one is even thinking in his mind. So that's the aura, whether rightly or wrongly, that's the aura is spread around his own colleagues and as well as the people in various opposition political parties also. And that is by the use of the sleeper cells, which I regularly point out towards. So he has prepared this network of getting information, inside information from every household of all the member of parliament. That's is his specialty. How far that is correct or not, but there is this perception, and a lot of things happen according to the perception people have. So that is the practical aspect. And now,
No, that you have said in many of your interviews, but what I want to know from you is that are there chances of the vice president elections being stolen? The way opposition is raising issues about other elections and how they are rigged, how votes are stolen. Are there chances that the vice president election also can be stolen?
see, first of all, I was coming to that, but first of all, I was trying to prepare the background why the need to understand why elections will be and can be stolen, and where is the need to steal these elections when the numbers are stacked against the opposition candidate. So I was trying to explain where is the need. Need is people are not happy with Modi ji and Amit Shah Saab by their dictatorial behavior, even amongst their own colleagues in the cabinet as well as the house, both houses of the parliament. Based on that, people would like to not vote for. That is why I gave the example of Mr. Malik and Mr. Rudy. They will not like to vote for, and they have various other reasons also. Their conscience doesn't allow to vote for a candidate selected by Modi ji and Amit Shah ji. Now, the counterpoint is the threat perception of Mr. Modi and Mr. Amit Shah. Now, there comes the role of a neutral election. There comes the role of a election holding authority, which will hold this election as any other election, which is supposed to, I would not say hold, but which is supposed to, this body is supposed to hold a free and fair election where everybody is free to vote according to his wishes, his inner conscience, and his secrecy of vote will be also ensured. And thirdly, there will be no manipulation. Votes will be counted as they have been casted. So these are the three things. So first thing is, now the why I'm saying there is every possibility of rigging is because who is going to hold this election? Election Commission of India. Mr. Gyanesh Kumar Gupta. So how fair or unfair he is, it is anybody's guess. So I don't need to say anything. Second thing is the good point in this is that these elections are going to be held by paper ballots. So there is a reasonable safety attributed to these elections. Now, paper ballots are also not absolutely safe or absolutely perfectly secure method of voting. There have to be certain securities, at least in this case, to ensure the secrecy of votes. So, Mr. Amit Shah, if I understand his methodology, he would definitely be spreading this word that I have a method of knowing who has voted for whom by, because we have some secret symbols or information attached to each paper ballot. So it is the duty of election commissioner, election commission, and the returning officer of the vice president, honorable vice president's post, that he ensures that this leakage of who has voted for whom will not be there. For that, a specific method has to be adopted, which can be, we can also give that advice how that has to be ensured so that it cannot be traced back to the voter. And there lies the secrecy, not in the CCTV footage. Next step would be, now, as the votes have been cast, they should be counted as such. There should be no manipulation in between of the paper ballots also. So for that, this entire process from polling to the counting and thereafter has to be videographed and permanently covered with CCTV cameras. And that video footage, both of the videography as well as CCTV footage, has to be made available to the opposition parties also. Otherwise, you see, even if people have voted, member of parliament have voted against the official candidate of NDA, votes can be manipulated, votes can be replaced. That sanctity, that security of votes from the beginning to the end have to be maintained, and visibly so, under coverage of the watchful eyes of cameras. So now what is the last stage which is left is some phenomenon called Mr. Anil Masih, which happened in Chandigarh, as you rightly pointed out, where votes, even if the paper ballots were not changed, manipulation was done on paper ballots after the votes have been casted on them. So what was seen in Chandigarh was that the returning officer or the counting person was actually forging the paper ballot by putting a second mark, or by deleting the first, or by putting a second mark also. So that way many votes will be neutralized. So if all that is done, then I think if that is a sanitized election, then I think there is a chance of Reddy Saab also winning this election. But for that, these are three conditions which I have said. But otherwise, putting pressure, direct or indirect, by Mr. Modi or Amit Shah or whoever the powers be, on the member of parliament belonging to NDA is also a violation of the model code of conduct for vice president election, because here you cannot use influence, you
No, so
cannot
you are
use
saying,
threats
no,
or
so
enticements. Here also.
Pracha, what should the opposition be doing at the very outset? Today only they have announced the candidature of Justice Reddy, and from tomorrow there is, I'm told that there is a meeting in the Central Hall of Parliament at 1 o'clock, where Justice Reddy is going to interact with other India Alliance leaders. And tomorrow itself, should they be putting up this demand for the CCTV footage? What should they be doing so that this kind of vote theft doesn't happen in the vice president elections, and they stand for the victory?
That this would be actually snatching victory from the jaws of defeat, not the other way around, which is happening across the country in various general elections, which our opposition is quite famous for. So now they can snatch victory from the jaws of defeat also. But for that, as I said, two things have to be done very, very carefully. One, this confidence has to be given and ensured that there would be absolute secrecy of their votes. When I have explained the methods how that can be done, there has to be a particular kind of ballot paper also, where it cannot be traced back. That is one. Two, once that is done, once people are free from the threats, enticements, I don't know. I mean, that cannot be stopped because that's a very long shot to take. But threats, if they are removed, then there is a reasonably good chance because especially NDA partners will not vote. Uh, this um, Chandrababu Naidu Sahab has got no reason to vote for the BJP candidate. He has got every reason for voting for a person belonging to his own state. Even otherwise, this is a person who is, if measured against the BJP candidate, he is far better candidate, but that is not important in today's scenario. So he could be a choice of not only Mr. Chandrababu Naidu but also Mr. Reddy, Jagan
No,
Reddy.
you are
Now
saying that.
Nitish Kumarji, Chirag Paswan Saab will also not be actually very happy to vote for, and they would want to also teach a lesson to Mr. Modi and Mr. Amit Shah, who are not treating them well. Chirag Paswan Saab is every day, and so are other. What do you think would be the choice of Mr. Shinde in Maharashtra? Please tell me this. Take a guess. And Mr. Ajit Pawar. He's actually called police officers to give them directives which were against the directives given by the chief minister. So therefore, this is quite achievable thing, doable, I would say. But for that, first thing has to be that secrecy has to be maintained, and then votes have to be ensured that they are counted as they have been cast. So if these two
No, but
things, and that's the exercise they should be undertaking, not campaigning.
right. No, but
Campaigning will not
okay.
help.
Right. So you are saying that campaigning for the vice president candidate won't help, but they should press on these things on the demand of the CCTV footage. But
Where
my
is
question
the where is the need for campaigning? Aam Aadmi Party, which is ostensibly or sometimes not happy with the India Gathbandhan, maybe they are trying to distance them from various issues. They have volunteered that we will vote. There are a large number of independent MPs also. They will also not vote. So, so Aam Aadmi Party's example I am giving because people are themselves walking a extra mile towards or against, I would say, Mr. Modi and Amit Shah, not against the NDA, I would say, so much. There could be a glue or a binding force in NDA, which could be various other reasons. But this particularly the behavior of these two people, the arrogant behavior of these two people, and the dictatorial methods used by them, they are certainly not a very welcome thing for any person. Forget foes, it is not welcome by the friends also. Subramaniam Swami Sahab, you can see. If today Mr. Subramaniam Swami would have been having a vote, if he was a member of parliament, who would he vote for? Advani ji, who would he vote for? Uma Bharti ji, who would she vote for? Murli Manohar Joshi Sahab, Sanjay Joshi Sahab, and I don't know about Mr. Gadkari, what he will do. But then again, that secrecy has to be maintained.
no, so you feel that there are many leaders within the BJP as well who might not vote for Mr. Radhakrishnan. Are you saying that there are high
Yes,
chances of
yes,
BJP leaders not voting?
yes. But that threat of repercussions has to be removed. And that's a fair election because you cannot put pressure in any election. But that's a malpractice. So therefore, it is a doable thing, but it has to be carefully organized, and one has to be very cautious and careful of the sleeper cells, because the best method, which strategies will be leaked to Mr. Amit Shah, is sleeper cells. His brain is not able to comprehend things which is visible from his latest strategies. It is not as good as it used to be. Especially, I'm saying this with for the reason that Mr. Gyanesh Kumar, his press conference, whatever he has said, it is actually, my guess is this is just the brainchild of every word he spoke was emanating from Mr. Amit Shah. So, and it was not a very intelligent press conference, I would say. He was cutting a sorry figure on each of the points he was making. So, Mr. Amit Shah's brain is also now having some kind of, I would say, it's getting worked up now. So that's a good sign again. But I personally would not be happy, because a good mind is always good to keep you on your feet also.
No, but Mehmood, but what about the impact on the judiciary? There is always a messaging in whichever candidate an alliance picks up. Now, say for example, Radhakrishnan was picked up by NDA as a candidate because they wanted to send out a message, a political message to Tamil Nadu. Let's forget that for a moment. But Justice Sudarshan Reddy's candidature for vice president, what does it actually mean for the judiciary as well? What is the kind of message which India Alliance is sending to the judiciary?
Well, I don't think these kind of candidatures can make any effect on the judiciary. Recently, there are two uh, orders which I would say are there. One, a judge in Bombay High Court refused to recuse from a case when there were corruption charges leveled against him in by the petitioners, one of the party of the case. I'm not commenting on the merits because I have not researched the merits. But there is another judge of Assam High Court who has actually, I think he's done something which is quite dangerous. But as I say again and again, that there are two kinds of judges in our
Justice
country. One is
Medhi? No, are you talking about Justice Medhi, who was questioned that why 3,000 bighas
3,000,
of land
half a village
to
was given. Yes, half a district or village was given to Mr. Adani. I mean, questioning that is in itself, which I mean, our heart fills with salutes to him. But there are and there will be consequences. My guess is that he will not remain in that case. He will be transferred to something, because there are two kinds of judges. One is Justice Chandrachud and his group and the likes of him, and one is just Judge Loya. So these are two extremes. So judiciary is always having, it is, the things are crystallized in judiciary. Whoever is Judge Loya's side, Judge Loya people will remain Judge Loya. Justice Chandrachud kind of people will remain that way. So I don't think there is a message, but the message which judiciary will be picking up today is not because of this candidature, but because of the vote yatra which the opposition is taking under the leadership of Mr. Rahul Gandhi. Bihar's yatra is going to have an effect on judiciary, because that is what judiciary has been saying from 2018, that people should come out and release us from the pressure which we are under. So now people are on the street, and in a powerful state and powerful people like Bihar people. So when there is a mass movement in Bihar, I think judiciary will be noticing this yatra very, very carefully, and the amount of response, spontaneous, organic. It is not an orchestrated. This is, I think, political parties, workers have to labor the least in Bihar yatra. People are themselves coming forward. So that is a thing which will have effect on judiciary, and I think whatever relief we may, I am still doubtful we may get in SIR, would be a large part of that would be because of the yatra which is going on, because judiciary also is ultimately understanding where the mood of the people is going, and it is not that mood of the people is going in the wrong direction and something which is unjust. The mood of the people is going towards the constitution and
whether we are
duty and justice.
right,
So,
whether we are
so
talking about
judges will be incentivized. I would just finish this line.
yes,
It's important. Judges will be incentivized to see this mood that people are ready to fight for equity, justice, and saving the constitution. So they will feel emboldened.
right.
Otherwise,
No, but
they will not feel any pressure to
right,
while passing. That's the main thing.
no, but
So
whether
there is
it
a
is
counter pressure. There is a pressure from government. Obviously, there are two forces. There is a pressure. Obviously, who can exert pressure? Opposition people cannot exert pressure on judiciary. Only the ruling party can exert pressure on judiciary. So there is this pressure, and there is a counter pressure, that is mass movement, that people are now actually launching a campaign, mass movement, to save their democracy and to save equity and justice. That is what my
right.
take on this.
Right. My final question to you, Pracha, is that whether it is SIR or whether it is the Bihar Yatra, they are all talking about one thing, and that is that elections are being stolen, votes are being rigged. Now, in the midst of this vote rigging allegations, if you have a vice president elections, and also not to forget the mysterious circumstances in which the former vice president resigned on the basis of the health grounds, nobody knows where he is. Uh, I'm just wanting to understand that what is the meaning of this vice president election, which is happening in this year 2025, where it was not scheduled, but it has been imposed on the country.
If Mr. Reddy doesn't win this election, then we will have a like of Mr. Dhankad. That is the message. And Mr. Dhankad got 528 votes. You are giving the numbers now. I will give you this number.
Yes.
528 votes. Massive,
No, Dhankad
massive.
won with a landslide. Dhankad won with a landslide.
That's what I'm trying to remind your viewers. But he was Mr. Dhankad only who got sick and vanished. So if Mr. Reddy is not elected, we will have another version of, and now a better version, more carefully chosen version
Advanced
of
version.
Mr.
You are saying
Dhankad.
an advanced version of
Yes.
Dhankad.
And so therefore, let us do our best to prevent stealing of this election,
Right.
prevent theft of this election. And the reason I'm saying theft, despite the numbers being against the opposition candidate, is again, it is not an election which is subject to three-line whip, subject to directive from the party. So there is a free will which is available.
Right.
And
So
coupled
we'll
with
have to
that,
wait.
the personalities which our great Prime Minister and Home Minister enjoy. These are two factors which can actually have Mr. Reddy win. The only thing that has to be done is that let us not allow the election commission to steal this election also in any manner whatsoever. Let us have this vice president's election an absolutely free and fair election in letter and in spirit. Then we have
Of
a
course.
chance.
Right. Okay, so we'll have to end it here. Thank you so much, Mehmood, for joining on HW.
So,
Thank you.
thank you.